Imagine someone driving a car through the dark. They navigate turns, stop at intersections, and eventually arrive at a house. They unlock the door, walk inside, and commit a horrific act of violence. But their eyes are rolled back. Their mind is entirely shut off. They are completely, undeniably dead asleep. On the night of May 24, 1987, a 23-year-old man named Kenneth Parks fell asleep on his sofa in the suburbs of Toronto, Canada. Around 1:30 in the morning, he stood up. He walked to his car and drove 22 kilometers down the highway in the pitch black. He arrived at his in-laws' house, used his spare key to get inside, and brutally attacked them, killing his mother-in-law. Shortly after, Parks walked into a local police station. He was deeply confused and covered in blood. He had severely severed the tendons in his own hands, yet he felt absolutely no pain. He told the officers he thought he had killed some people. The most baffling detail of the entire night was that Kenneth Parks had a wonderful relationship with his in-laws. He was planning to visit them the next day to ask for financial help. There was absolutely zero motive for the violence. To convict someone of a crime, the legal system requires two things to be true. First, the person must commit the physical act. Second, they must have the conscious intent to do it, the guilty mind. During the trial, Parks' lawyers presented a defense that shocked the courtroom. They admitted his body committed the murder, but argued his conscious mind was completely absent. He didn't do it willingly. Proving or disproving this meant the jury had to abandon standard detective work. Instead, they had to look directly into the biological architecture of human sleep. Because true legal guilt requires a conscious mind, the courts were forced to put the biological limits of the human brain on trial. The medical term for sleepwalking is somnambulism. While many assume sleepwalkers are acting out their dreams, neurological data reveals a state much further removed from conscious imagination. This chart shows the standard human sleep cycle. You can see the rapid eye movement, or REM stage, where dreaming actually happens. But sleepwalking occurs down here, in the deepest, most unconscious phase of rest, stage 3 non-REM sleep. When a sleepwalker's body attempts to transition out of this deep N3 phase, something disrupts the process. The biological mechanisms for being awake and being in deep sleep collide, creating an incomplete awakening. During this biological fracture, the parts of the brain that control movement, like the brainstem and the motor cortex, power on. But the frontal lobe, the area responsible for logic, memory, and consciousness, remains entirely deactivated. Without an active frontal lobe, the person has no perception of what they are doing. They become a blind passenger trapped inside a moving body. Your body can execute incredibly complex tasks without any input from your conscious mind. It relies entirely on deep habit and the autonomic nervous system, the background software that keeps your heart beating and lungs breathing. For decades, scientists assumed a sleepwalker committing violence would exhibit massive spikes in adrenaline, but a 2021 medical study revealed the exact opposite. This chart compares the two branches of the nervous system during an episode. The parasympathetic branch, which controls your rest and digest responses, stays highly elevated. Meanwhile, the sympathetic branch, your fight or flight response, flatlines. This bizarrely calm physical state allows sleepwalkers to perform eerily precise, uninhibited tasks without waking up. People have been documented cooking intricate meals like pasta, or even painting detailed portraits, all while completely asleep. This biological autopilot explains exactly how Kenneth Parks could smoothly operate a car for 22 kilometers and commit severe violence. His body never generated the adrenaline required to shock his frontal lobe awake. When medical experts testified about this exact neurological glitch during the Kenneth Parks trial, the jury listened. Parks was completely acquitted of murder. Courts are usually extremely skeptical of this defense. In 1997, an American named Scott Faylater killed his wife and claimed he was sleepwalking, but evidence showed he deliberately hid the murder weapon in a spare tire and carefully concealed his bloody clothes in a plastic bag. Those purposeful actions proved conscious intent, and he was sent to prison. However, when the lack of intent is undeniable, the law has had to adapt. In India, a young mother named Papathi Amal fell into a sleepwalking episode in 1957 and jumped into a well with her infant. She survived, but the baby drowned.
A trial court initially sentenced her to life in prison, but her lawyers appealed and the case reached the Madras High Court, where judges examined the specific nature of her sleepwalking. The High Court established a landmark precedent. They ruled that if sleepwalking is definitively proven, it officially qualifies as an unsoundness of mind under Section 84 of the Indian Penal Code. The legal system formally validated that a body cannot be guilty if the brain is absent. While the threat a sleepwalker poses to others is exceptionally rare, the danger they pose to themselves is highly common and often fatal. In June 2024, a 19-year-old boy named Mustafa Ibrahim Chunawala was experiencing an episode in his Mumbai apartment. He wandered out onto his 6th-floor balcony, which had no safety grills, and fell to his death. This neurological glitch is often triggered by severe sleep deprivation, extreme stress, and genetic inheritance. For those susceptible, the best defense is environmental security, installing safety gates, locking away dangerous objects, and placing child-proof latches. Sleepwalking reveals a specific mechanical failure in the brain's staging process. Beneath our conscious identity and daily self-control lies a primal operating system. And under the right physiological stress, that system is completely capable of waking up and taking the wheel, proving we are not always the masters of our own actions.